Got it?
Awesome. Well, Natalie,
Hi.
Natalie PB Bennett.
Yes.
Welcome,
Yes.
welcome to the Empower Network. I'm excited because you're going to be talking about, well, women's wellness and also finding your passion. And
Mhm, mhm,
we're going to tell your
mhm.
story today, a bit of your story, and we're going to have some fun doing this. I said it to you as soon as you got on the call. I was like, oh, I like your energy because you're like, oh, I found my tribe. What is it?
Yes.
Oh, I love it the way you said that. What are you enjoying here at the Empower Network? What is it you like?
Honestly, I just watched the roundtable about energy, and I'm all about energy. I just watched some of the interviews and I just can resonate with everyone to a certain extent. I mean, it's all about, lifting the vibration and bringing people together and, being on a different level. And that is everything to me. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, you have really fun glasses on. So
Thank you. I figure if I have to wear them to see, they should be interesting, right?
that's fun. Okay, so Natalie, your story. Now, when I asked you just before we got on camera, I said, what would you like to start with? And you said, well, women's wellness is really important to me
Yeah,
because of where I've been and where I
right.
came to. So can we start with your story of where
Yes.
does Natalie's story start?
Well, um, I've always been really different. I've always been really into different things. I was in fashion and beauty, and then I got into punk rock, and I've always kind of did my own thing. Long story, I ended up in the fashion industry, beauty industry, and I developed a really serious eating disorder. I was anorexic bulimic for years. Although, because I was in the fashion industry, you couldn't tell. I looked perfect on the outside, but if I felt like if you cut me, tar would come out. I mean, no feeling, no nothing.
Wow.
Um, and it took me years to really, I don't know, self-discovery. It just went on a really long time. I ended up marrying an Irish American, and was into the whole punk rock scene and the fashion industry and all of that stuff, and just found myself lost. Didn't even know, just was seeking culture and seeking who I truly am. We kind of grew apart, and I ended up meeting a West African. Ended up marrying him, and his father was the religious leader of the country, the Muslim religious leader of the country. That whole experience, that whole coming to America experience was real. It's real. Okay. Oh my God. I mean, I ended up just in places and seeing things and meeting people and just amazing things. Um, I couldn't deal with the polygamy though. So after that, I ended up meeting another West African, and I ended up having my three daughters. They deported him. I moved to West Africa. Um, Started a cosmetic line, a modeling agency, was always on TV, always on the radio, doing great. He
What?
became, yeah, he became really abusive, concussions, stuff like that. So,
Wow.
long story short, I escaped back here with my three daughters. And by then I was broken down to nothing. I was still anorexic. I had developed um, an addiction to alcohol because that was the only way I could kind of numb everything out. Um, and I had to go through this whole process of reinvention and healing, and having my three girls, they're teenagers, and but I've raised them to really be 100% authentic in who they are as individuals, that they can do anything they want to do, and um and I just realized there's not enough of that for people, especially young women. Two of my daughters are gay, and they are my oldest daughter was the only girl on the football team at her high school, and just I always encouraged them to just be awesome. If you're going to do it, be awesome at it. I don't care what it is. And I just I have such a passion for women taking care of themselves. I mean, my whole thing was outer beauty for so long.
Mm.
You know, that's what I promoted, that's what I did, makeup artist, you know, and was dark inside because I didn't love myself. But it starts from within. It starts from within. And if I can get that message out, you've got to love yourself from within first, you know, and through meditation and my healing exercises and my energy exercises and, you know, just really working on yourself and your mindset, um, everything changes. Everything changes. And, you know, I have these three awesome girls and I love working with women. I end up working with men too. Um, but it's about just that positivity and putting that energy out there and helping people realize that it's really what you make it. You know, it's really what you make it. And if you decide, so if you want to live well, then decide you're going to live well and put those things in place and take it from there. And I do what I can to try to help as many people in the world as I can do that.
Well, you've had quite the story you just told
Oh,
us.
honey,
All these,
I
what
felt
were,
like I've lived three different, completely different lives in this one body.
what were key moments, key catalysts that happened for you that were, can you think back to two or three moments or when, life was one way and you had to shift? And
Mhm.
what changed for you? Because you just told us like a movie score. So what were the key defining moments for you that allowed you to be where you are now?
Um, one of the key, well, the first one, um, was just feeling like I didn't know who I was. Um, and in seeking out some kind of answer, some culture, something, because I was in a position where, you know, I just didn't know in what direction to take my life.
Mm.
Um, but I knew I was tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of, um, you know, just being worried about the outside and not just sick and tired. That's all I can say. Um, the other really defining moment was when it was Nigeria. And I realized I had no one else there. I was in this country where I was solely reliant on this person who was abusing me. And I relied back on The Secret, which my mom had introduced me to before I left the country. And I realized, you know what, I can take control of this. And I started visualizing and writing down every day, seeing myself home with my daughters and just creating that. And eventually it manifested, you know. So that was another one. Um, but yeah, and then also after then getting home and realizing I'm all my girls have. If I don't have my stuff together, if I don't get my shit together, then how are they going to, you know, what example are they going to follow?
Mm.
So,
That's not easy as a parent when you realize, because your ceiling is their floorboard. And if you can only reach here, wherever you can reach is where they start at. It's hard as a parent. I'm a dad. I have a 21-year-old daughter, because we all hand our kids certain things. We hand them gifts, we hand them talents, and we also hand them things that maybe are not so much gifts and that they have to carry and they have to learn to deal with. And that's pretty sobering. Sounds like you've been through some sobering moments.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, epic moments where you're like, wow,
Hmm.
Either it goes this way or this way, but it depends on me, you know.
Full responsibility is not always a comfortable
Mm-mm,
realization or choice, is it?
mm-mm. Not at all, not at all,
Yeah.
not at all. But
Someone
it
talk,
doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. And it's mindset. It's mindset. Like I teach my clients even little things. I know getting my girls up for school in the morning and getting them out and whatever. I'm not going to put the news on and watch that negative, and put that negativity. I used to play um, sound music or something really calming, and it would make such a difference in getting them up and out of the house. And just, I mean, there are certain things that you can implement and do to control your environment, control, you know what I'm saying. So it's a choice.
how did you decide to start making choices that would better serve? Like, you must have had to let go, and I'm sure you take clients through this now, but how did you learn to recognize, ooh, this cup of choices I've been making is not serving me anymore, and now I'm going to take a new
Mhm.
cup? How did you, because I'm sure you came with prerequisite mindsets, like depending how you're raised, what country you came from, your parents, we're handed these things. I'm sure your
Mhm.
clients come to you and say, listen, Natalie, these are my beliefs. How do you practically help your clients? Like, is there certain processes you've picked up along the way that you now hand off to them so that they can start questioning, does that belief actually work?
Yeah, definitely. I incorporate the energy exercises and the meditation, and it's really about sitting down and tuning into who you are. Whether it's making pros and con list of how do I want my life to be? Or what are the things I want to eliminate, and it's just finding balance of those things. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah. What are some of
Yeah.
your favorite testimonials of clients you've worked with then?
Well, okay, I also work at Amazon. I started working with a young lady there, and I mean, we hustle our butts there. That's how I stay in tip top shape working at that place. But this young lady, she said, I'm in school and I want to be a trainer, a fitness trainer. And I kept telling her, look at what we're doing here, and then I gave her all these affirmations and she started journaling, whatever. Next thing I knew, she was like, I'm out. You can take it from here, and she's off and running. And for me, it's just being able to inspire and motivate um it just in that moment, whoever it is. I've been one of those people that people have always kind of approached and dumped things on anyway.
Okay.
So I've had lots of practice going, well, let's think about that. Maybe we should, or maybe you should, you
Okay.
know. So
So people come to you naturally in life and just kind of open up to you and say, Natalie, this is going on. What do you think I should
strangers, it's
say?
it's been the weirdest thing, but I'm cool with it.
Has it been all your life? It's just,
But just, yeah, all my life. Well, I've always, like I said, I've always been in situations where people are like, who is she? She's different. You know, and they just migrate to me. And I'm one of those people that I'll talk to anybody, you know.
hmm,
I'm just open to it.
yeah.
So it's always worked out.
So what is 2023 going to hold for Natalie?
I would like 2023 to include a TED Talk, just to share my experience and my story. I would like it to include regular group client sessions, healing sessions, possibly a fabulous retreat with different practitioners for different things. Um, yeah, and lots of love and light balance. Yeah,
One. So your
lots of
favorite,
connections.
Your favorite type of roundtables to be on in this group would be what?
Would be women's wellness. Or it could be, a woman who has survived domestic violence, women who, want to learn to love themselves from within first. Um, things like that.
Is it hard? This might sound like a dumb question. If it is, I apologize. But as a man, I'm curious, as a woman, is it hard? Like, because you kind of innately, especially if you had kids, a lot of women are just these natural nurturers. Now, whether it's before kids or after kids, but you're used to giving, giving, giving in the nurturing sense.
Right.
Is it hard to nurture yourself as a woman? Like, is it taught to you?
Not at all. We are giving, 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 giving. Of course, you've got some women out there that are, into. I honestly, back in the day, I was able to kind of balance and look like I had it all together, but I was only doing that to get responses from other people. Perfect body because I was modeling and doing, for other people, the perfect, you know. Um, but most women, especially with families and husbands and careers, and we put ourselves last. And that's the worst thing we can do, because if we aren't nurturing and taking care of ourselves, we can't properly nurture and take care of anyone else, period.
Hmm.
And so many of us don't realize that if we're not sleeping well, eating well, or how we respond to our children, or how we respond to our husbands, or how we, you know it 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 won't balance out. And then people find themselves ill with illnesses because they're stressed or whatever. All of that manifests itself in your body negatively. So if you're not nurturing yourself, and I mean, it doesn't have to be something crazy, going to spas, and you know what I mean? It's like meditating, journaling,
Hmm.
turning the news off if you know it's going to trigger something in you. you know I love music. I'm still no punk rocker at heart. I'm driving, my kids get mad at me because I need to listen to my punk music when I'm driving, but at home I like my meditation and my soft, you know what I mean? It's like doing what it is for you
Hmm.
to take care of you. And sometimes it takes some serious searching to find out what that is, but once you find it, go with it. And it works. It works.
Dorothy Knight would like to ask you, Natalie, what are you most proud of in your journey of self-discovery? What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of, this is going to sound, I am most proud of the fact that I'm finally living 1000% authentic in who I am,
Oh.
because I've lived a lifetime trying to please other people and be something that I wasn't.
Hmm.
And yeah, it feels good. If I took me, like I said, it took me this long, but I'm here. And my passion is now to try to help other people do it. I was married to 3 men. I'm a gay woman. It took me how long to figure that out? You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, there's so many elements and so many things. I was just trying to please other people and live my life and not upset this person and not upset my parents and not, you know, and yeah, it took this long to stand in who I am completely as an individual. And I'd like to, help other people do that, help other women do that a lot sooner.
It's amazing when you learning to come home to whatever you currently, however I identify, I find that it doesn't matter what we need to come home to. It's more about the skill set of learning bravery. And
Right.
regardless of what people say, learning to go, listen, I love blue or I love watermelons. And that might not be popular for people that don't think I should, but there's this, you can lather up into a state of more and more coming to you just by learning to tell whatever is the current truth that we need to speak. And maybe that is that
Right.
I get angry when people cut me off in traffic. Until I admit that, how can I even go forward in life until I currently admit what is
Right.
right for me in the moment?
Right. And that's everything. Really. It really is. And it takes practice. It takes
Oh,
practice. But once you get there, and living in, I look at life through eyes of gratitude. Everything, it's like if somebody cuts me off, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you didn't hit me. You must be in a rush. Love and light to you, and I keep it forward. You know what I mean? And it's like once the secret, I used to journal, and we would write down 10 things every day that we were grateful for. And when I first got back from Lagos, Nigeria, I was grateful for light all the time because the light would go out for weeks at a time there. And, I was grateful for, I mean, I would just, so then I just started doing that regularly. And now I go throughout my day and I'm like, okay, not going to give my power away and let you upset me. I'm grateful that I am here. You know what I mean? It's like, and I teach my kids, hold on to your power like a basketball. Like just hold on to it. Don't give it to anybody. If somebody is trying to upset you, maybe they're having a really bad day, but that doesn't mean you have to take it on. You
mm.
know, release that and keep it moving. Life is too short. So yeah, I'm just trying to I'm still a work in process figuring all this stuff out, but I'm moving in the right direction finally.
That does feel really good when you realize that, we never have it figured out. But once you see that you are moving in the right direction, you're like, at least my ship is pointed in the general right direction. At least I'm not facing this way anymore. So
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm happy for you, Natalie, and I'm happy you have a really positive demeanor, and you've obviously learned to train your mind to be grateful in the face of challenges because you've faced a lot of challenges in your life. I
Mhm.
would be interested, yeah, in seeing you on a women's roundtable. There's going to be another women's health roundtable. Last time it was emotions, I think, and mindset. It'll be a different one next time, but it'd be fun if you join because I'd love for others to hear just your take on stuff and your approach because we can all
I'd
learn.
love to.
Okay, great. It's a deal.
Yay.
I'll reach out. Hey, how can people reach out to you? No, I will be tagging you in I'm pointing up to the top right of my computer. I'm not sure why I'm doing that, but that's where I tag. I'll be tagging
Okay.
in the Facebook in this interview. How do you want them to Facebook you if they want to connect with you or?
Sure. I have a group, and it is the nature of woman's wellness. Instagram is, hmm, I'm on there. Natalie PB Bennett, I think it is. But stick with the Facebook because that's what I'm trying to master now. I was in the beauty, like I said, the beauty industry, the tech industry now is quite challenging for me. And my teenagers are sick of me asking. So, it's slow, but it's coming.
You're pointed in the right direction, Natalie. We're winning.
Absolutely.
Well, if you've been watching the Empower Network, you've been watching Natalie PB Bennett talk about her journey, about women's health, about finding your passion, about being joyful and grateful, regardless of what is throwing your way, what life is throwing your way. Natalie, thank you
Mhm.
so much for being here. And thanks for your positive spirit and your encouraging demeanor. It goes a long way.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste.
I'll reach out to you after this. And thanks for everyone for watching the Empower Network.